Everyone says, yes, it is a true shame of me to put more troubles on your already troubled mind.
Anything that could be used to alleviate these burdens would be a great help to the town of Foghaven. What do you have to share?
It's a lot of information that might clear up some of the recent happenings around the town, many of the problems.
All right.
Then I suppose we tell the story as it is, right?
How do you want to, present her? Are you going to tell her, everything, just, the truth? Are you going to omit any details? What are you looking to, share with her?
Basically, I'm asking you guys, do you want to omit details? What details would we want to omit?
Are we gonna tell her about the mail course or not? That's the main thing, I think.
Well, isn't it the whole purpose of this?
Well...
We want Salvador Crane and his connection first, I think. Do we want to,
Oh, you just want to... That's what you want to do? All right.
I don't know.
Maybe once we get Salvador Crane out the way, the others will be more malleable, so...
I don't really know, actually, what is best to do.
Maybe Crane first, showing, hey, we got this evidence, and he's really a shithead, and once we convinced them, maybe they would be more willing to actually listen to us when we confront them about the oldest citizen that has lived in Foghaven.
I don't think we have any evidence.
We'll take out the ledger then. Actually, she wasn't in the ledger, right?
No, she wasn't in the ledger.
That would be super useful. Oh, you know about that one. Fuck. None of the others we know about,
No, none of the other senators were in there, which is to be expected.
He would seem like the kind of guy. But
none of the others are in the mercantile wheeling and dealing thing. Cameron Wilder has given up that trade long ago. The only person who is still very much active in that Salvatore Crane.
All right. Well, we'll put out the ledger then. Put it there. Say, this was recovered from the bandit lord's main hideout.
You found the hideout of the Whispering Ravenger?
Yes. We have killed, well, almost all the bandits that were there. The rest fled. We recovered this. Sadly, they burned most of what was there, but this shows different bribes and who has been in on the schemes. Some people of rather high status have been aiding the bandits and stay hidden in return for tax alleviation and wealth.
Right. I see the numbers, the bribes that have been paid, and we certainly know on the Senate that a number of senators have, well, not senators, but a number of merchants, excuse me, have had to pay their way in order to prevent their caravans from being destroyed. What are these scratch mark symbols, though?
The scratch mark symbols are the people who are in on the scheme. The ones who did not have to pay a tax in return for looking the blind eye to the Ravenger's activities.
Providing service over funds.
That's a merchant here. That's a merchant I know who deals in Newport. She flips a page. So, Salvatore Crane?
This was why we thought we had to bring this up immediately. It seems now obvious why the city guard have been so inept at finding these bandits.
Oh my. Oh my. She leans over and pours herself a drink. Takes a drink. I would have a very hard time accepting this were it not for Lord Inator's words. You... That would explain so much, though, that the bandits have been so utterly uncatchable. If the very slimy coward who's been leading... And he's the one who's leading the crusade against Carmilla.
Yes, it seems that might also be one of the same sorts of tactics as Camilla did, as a matter of fact, hire us to look into the problem. He might have seen that as a bit of a threat and wanted to remove anyone wanting to into it.
Yes, he did put up quite a fight whenever Ursilia mentioned in the council meeting that perhaps you individuals were not the ones responsible. We, particularly with Father Viridian's words, went along with her suggestion, but Salvatore was adamant. Particularly whenever he discovered what you looked like. It seems that he had a prior run-in with you and might have felt upset about that.
So he knew we were working to try to stop the bandits.
He ran into us right before he went to arrest Camilla.
This is certainly news indeed. It would be a little difficult to present at the trial. I am sure that the other senators would have their questions, particularly Salvatore. Regardless of whether your names have been cleared, if he suspects you're still active, and that you intend to bring this to bear at the town hall, and he is actually guilty of all of this, which I do not know for certain, then there might be consequences against you.
So he says, well, it would be good to keep it secret perhaps until the time is ripe.
Did you plan on bringing this to the other senators? Obviously not Salvatore and not Carmilla, of course, given her current location.
We certainly will speak to both the father, Beredian, and Cameron Wilder. We don't know much about. I suppose we have never met Isaac Simpson, but we would also like to speak to him about it.
She wrinkles her nose. He's there for the common, the blacksmith, the woodcutter, the logger, the farmer. He's never wanted the position, and he actually voted along with Salvatore, thinking that the evidence of the witnesses was enough to consider you all guilty as well. But perhaps if you presented yourselves well enough, and I know Father Viridian is close to him, you might be able to get him to see things your way, too. It'll take a bit of work. He's probably the most honest and least corrupt person in the entire town. Even more so than Viridian. Doesn't care.
Wow. In that case, it should make it slightly easier for us.
And if you manage to get the father on your side, that should be enough to sway Isaac. Normally Isaac follows Viridian, but in this particular case, Isaac was adamant that the witness testimony was correct enough and important enough to keep the arrest warrants as they were out on you.
Well, I suppose we'll have to talk to him about that.
Yes. And Ursilia as well, I would recommend her, though she is not lead senator. She is still the first citizen of Foghaven, and her words carry great sway. We would not have even considered the possibility of reneging those warrants were it not for her council suggestion last night.
Last night?
Well, not last night. I'm sorry. It has been quite I have not gotten much sleep.
Emergency meetings.
Yes. It was not last night. It was... What night was that? And she'll then provide you the correct night, which the morning after you were informed by that messenger from Father Viridian that you were no longer wanted.
Yeah. So guys, do we want to talk to her about it?
I don't know. I think we'll do the others before her.
Yeah, certainly that, but... Like,
I don't know if we can even get an audience with her.
does she even show up to the meetings anymore?
The emergency ones she does, but I'm pretty sure she didn't show up to the other ones, though.
Until quite recently, she has been in seclusion. I imagine her health is finally getting to her. But with the recent trauma after the mob uprising, she has been present every day in the town hall, working tirelessly to solve these problems for the benefit of all people. After all, this town would not exist without her. She is truly the first citizen, perhaps not the most selfless or giving, but she has given much.
Regardless, now that his corruption has come to light, we will go speak to the others.
Yes, I will certainly keep an eye on matters as well. Perhaps you might be able to get into the town hall and check some records there. You might be able to find some discrepancies. Perhaps Salvatore has engaged in other nefarious activities besides sheltering bandits.
How would you suggest we get entry?
Well, the best time would be at night. There's only 2 guards who police the town hall. We are a simple town. The records room isn't that much. I could give you a key. I would not claim responsibility or involvement. So long as you didn't kill or harm anyone and left as you came, then you should have no trouble investigating the records. That would make it so that Salvatore did not know you were there. You can't go during the day because of that.
A good idea. I would accept such a key and not name you responsible.
All right. She will actually provide you a key to the rather large records room of Foghaven.
So time for some late night light reading.
I suppose we should talk to the others first. Or do you want to go there first and then have that for the others?
No, it's still afternoon. We'll go see the other ones.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting for us.
So perhaps the
since you're here on
Cameron
the north side
Wilder?
of town.
he's the head of numbers. He might be interested in this sort of thing. Very much so. Should be like a treasurer kind of person. His name isn't in the book either.
No, he is not. The senator does have a door guard, but when you present your names, he rather timidly and politely allows you in. Cameron, Senator Wilder, does not live much in the way of opulence or luxury, but he has a lot of papers on his desk. And on the nearby tables. And in the other room. And on the couch. And on the chairs that he invites you to sit on. He's got a lot of papers. And are they full of not just numbers, but architectural designs. Like, he's not just a guy with numbers, but he's apparently very good at, like, sketching, like, building designs for, like, what will be erected next in the town of Foghaven.
Oh, sure.
And he actually pulls out a pipe as he gestures you to sit down, like, you don't mind, do you? As he's about to light it, he stops.
Or shakes his head.
All right. So,
Doesn't mind.
You're Dwohurim, Harsca. I'm not much for wizards, but I have had my share of business with them in my day, and I am capable of a few things. What brings you here to my home?
Well, as it is, I come with some dire news. News that might put light on why so many good projects, he sort of raised his hand towards many of the papers, have had to be delayed recently. Why it seems that the town funds might be lacking a bit. It takes the ledger out.
Bandits. Ooh, what is that? Leave it here.
We have hunted down the bandits, found the Ravinger's headquarters, and recovered this from it. It is a ledger that shows the bribes and the people who have, aided in the bandits' activity by not having to pay in return.
Yes. Oh, I know him. I always suspected him of doing nefarious activities. He, like, pulls out, like, another sheet of paper, like, begins, like, scribing the names from the ledger. Oh, yes, and him as well. A rather odd sort. Flips the page, and Salvatore looks away from his paper and looks at the ledger.
it seems obvious now why the bandits have had such great success in avoiding patrols.
Why would guards never catch them? Or if they're stationed in places they know where they're known not to be bandits?
That makes so much damn sense. He like sweeps away like a few of the papers like off his desk, then like gets out of his chair to pick up those papers and put them back on the desk. Actually, I need to sit back there. Sits back down. I knew something was wrong with him. I always suspected him of something, and I know it's here somewhere. And he like begins like ripping through like papers on the desk. Suspecting money being diverted from the treasury. He always said he needed more money, and he always needed more to catch the bandits, but if he hasn't been catching the bandits, then he's been using them for his own purposes. Draining the town treasury for his own greedy. He fumes.
Think of what could have been built with all that.
People. Maybe we wouldn't have to worry about rationing so much this winter. If...
We thought it was best that you knew as fast as possible. Especially since he also incarcerated Camilla, who was trying to deal with the bandit problem independently.
Yes, I had wondered about that. I had never thought in all of my years that Carmilla would be that. But Salvatore was convincing, and the witnesses he had, and the others, they insisted, particularly Miriarty, and... But I always thought something was wrong with him. At first I thought Lord Enitor was just bending my arm, that I was going to have to perform a disservice, but if you are the ones that he sent to me, particularly you, Dwohurim Harsca, it is a pleasure to have met you, and I wish you could have been here so much sooner.
Well, just that would have been good for all, it seems. I am here now, however, and we need to get Camilla out. She has been incarcerated falsely, accused for something that surely might more be Salvatore's own crime.
The best time to do that will have to be at the trial. That's when all of the senators will be present, and that's when the people will be present as well. Salvatore could not hide, nor could he attempt to do anything more nefarious to disguise the truth. We'll get you in at the trial when it's held in the morning, and you will show this, and we will see how the coward reacts when he is stared at by hundreds of good citizens of Foghaven. And we will know, and if your words are right, and if this is right, we will see it on the coward's face, and he will pay for what he has done.
Yes. Now, we'll be talking to many of the other senators as well. This must be known by as many as possible. Of course, not by Salvatore.
He takes a drag on his pipe. Of course not. Of course not. Have you already spoken with Miriarty?
Yes. Yes, we have.
All right. Father Beridian is the just sort. I don't know much about him, or much about, that Isaac. He's not even... We don't really relate. I can't really tell you anything more about him, or help you with an introduction. The only person I could help you with is, of all people, Ursilia. She's the one who recommended, initially, that you were the ones to be freed from the warrant that was put out of you by Salvatore. Oh, Salvatore raged against that. But, considering what you have found, it is very understandable why he would have wanted you in prison.
I imagine. Think of what a terrible problem that would have made.
I will do my own numbers research in the days before the trial. I have stayed up long enough, but I will stay up all the hours I can if that means that slimy cretin can pay his crimes.
Every inconsistency you can find can help break his arguments.
Oh, I would like to hear what he has to say, just to crush it. By all means, then, thank you for bringing this to my attention, Dwohurim, Harsca, and you others as well.
Of course.
Sure. Bows. So we will continue on our walk then.
And the door guard will see you out of the building. At which point, it is now evening.
So,
How late in the evening?
You still like the sun setting.
Alright.
take this ledger, Leon. I think you should talk to the priest.
Yes, I believe that is. He would know me better than you. Though I'm glad we got at least
I
those
don't have a
stories.
reference, so...
Alright. I head on down south as the sun is setting, and you manage to arrive at the modest home, which looks more like a church, really. Now that you're looking at it. Yeah, this might as well be a fucking church. Of Senator and Father Beridian. There's no door guard. The door's unlocked. You're easily able to walk in. There's a few people sitting in the pews, praying to Chontia, goddess of life and agriculture. And when asking questions, they will direct you and point you to Father Beridian himself. Appears to be in his 30s. He's got a common face, but looking at him, he gives a good aura of sorts. Like, you can feel, just sort of like in your sort of soul, that this is a good person you're looking at. Like, he exudes that effect with his affable smile and his kind eyes. He looks at you four and says, "Bless you all. Welcome to my home, as well as the shrine of Chontia. Have you come to pray?"
No, Father Beridian. I am here partially by your request and partially because we have important matters to discuss. I'm not sure if you recognize me, but my name is Leon.
Oh, Leon. He actually, like, extends, like, his hands, like, warmly to, like, clasp yours.
He extends his hand back.
I have heard much of your exploits, particularly in fighting the evil undead. It is a pleasure. You are most welcome here. Please, please, come. We'll retire to my inner sanctum. You may share with me our news. It is a privilege to meet you. I'm glad that one such as you has come here to this humble town, especially in its time of need.
Yes. A time which this town needed it the most, and I was conveniently sent on a journey just to see if there were any problems upon it.
Oh, there have been many problems plaguing it, Leon. Many problems indeed. These accursed bandits have been strangling the town dry.
That is partially what we want to talk to you about.
Oh, have you found information about this?
Yes. I do not know how much you know about us. When we got into town, Carmilla, she hired us to do some investigations into why, a private investigation she brought into the bandits.
Ah, then the connection that you have had with Carmilla is correct, just not in the way Salvatore suggested it. I see.
And when we went to raid the bandit lord, we managed to get rid of the majority of the bandits there, and we managed to recover this. Puts forward the ledger.
What is this?
This is a book containing all of the people that have bribed them or offered them service in return for passage through their area or not having to pay taxes to them.
Oh.
And as you'll see, there are some very interesting names inside.
Oh, there are a number of names, but it is understandable. It is that the merchants either pay or have their caravans raided as a necessity of Salvatore?
That is our issue.
Salvatore Crane? I don't understand. There's only one Salvatore Crane who lives here in Foghaven.
That is correct. Salvatore Crane was working alongside the bandits, which is why the town guard never found them. He purposely redirected the guards so they would never be in the way of the bandit patrols.
Oh my. he actually begins tearing up. Oh, this is terrible news indeed. I had no idea to look at him all this time and to think that he might have been doing that.
Offers the father a warm hug.
Oh, I am undeserving of this if he has been responsible for supporting these bandits.
You were not undeserving. You did not know more. But instead we can make it better for the people of this town.
How could we, as a town, have failed to protect ourselves from him? Oh, I am glad that Ursilia mentioned that perhaps that your group was not responsible for any of this. I am glad that at least she put that up. If you were all still being hunted, then maybe you would not have been able to bring this. Maybe Salvatore would have. Oh.
I believe that was his original intent.
Beridian lifts his hands and rakes them through his hair. All right. I am not so sure I would have initially thought this, but when you bring it up, especially with your reputation, I think of all of the other suspicious things that I've thought of Salvatore. Seems so convenient, particularly how the town guard never managed to catch a single bandit all this time. I didn't want to question his position. I did not wish to insult the guard. I know they're volunteers. I know they're trying their best. But if they, either through negligence or intention, hurt the other people of this town, no, this will not stand. This will not do at all.
We plan to have this shown during Carmilla's trial, to both free her and to show that Salvatore's guilt is known to the town itself.
Yes, this ledger admittedly is not too much, particularly when presented by outsiders, but if nothing else, you being in there to present it, as well as your story, will be enough to challenge Salvatore in a room where he cannot escape, not with all of the other senators, and not with so many people watching the trial.
We have been speaking to the other senators, and we would like to know if it would be possible for you to help us with one in particular. Because while we've been wanting to present this to show off the guilt of Salvatore Crane, unfortunately none of us have any easy connection to Isaac.
Isaac, you say?
Yes.
Leon, for this. And he'll stand up determinedly. We will go to his forge right now.
Nods. By the light path.
And a teary-eyed Father Beridian, and I actually got so invested in that I actually started crying a little myself. God damn it. Fucking method
acting, I like
yeah,
it.
no shit. I fucking, my eyes started watering up, and I was like, motherfucker. He will storm down the streets, offering, gentle, greetings to the people that you pass, to the blacksmithy of Isaac Simpson, which is still very much at work. And he will call out, Isaac! You will come out here now! And Isaac, a confused, burly man, over easily, close to 2 meters, will come out, Beridian? What is wrong? Is something troubling you? Who are these? No, this! And Beridian will thrust the ledger into Isaac's. What is this? Why are you crying? What is wrong? Look at it. That doesn't tell me anything.
This book contains information on those bribing the bandits and those offering service in return for safety against them.